Winners and losers of the NBA draft. Is it too soon? Possibly, but that's what we do here. GMs, they had a game plan. Some of it worked, some of it kind of blew up in their face. Who's your big winner?
Yeah, never too soon. Big winner, the Denver Nuggets. They draft Emmanuel Mudiay, who was at worst the second best point guard in this draft. Some thought maybe even the best point guard in the draft. Could have been a top 4 pick. Slips to them at 7. Fantastic athlete, potential future star, and they got him to potentially replace Ty Lawson, who's been their starter there. Now, what happened next? Well, Ty Lawson proved why they needed to replace him because video leaks of him online smoking a hookah saying, "See, bro, I'm getting traded to Sacramento." Just kind of proving his immaturity once again. This is the same guy who was charged with DUI back in January. So the Nuggets, winner all the way around, drafting a potential star while also replacing a guy who just proved once again why they need to ship him out.
Who you got as a winner?
Miami Heat. They get Justice Winslow. We thought they were going to get Stanley Johnson, which would have been a nice fit for what they needed, but that was because we thought Winslow was already going to be off of the board. He's waiting there for him. Coming from Duke, he's ready for that same sort of mindset and mentality and approach. He fits the position. He gives you relief for Luol Deng as he gets up in years. I don't know whether he starts or he backs him up, but he's a defensive guy. Every bit of the profile fits, and when you look at the Miami Heat and what the expectations are for this coming season, it's the biggest game changer when you look at the playoff picture.
Yeah, I mean, if Dragic and Wade are there, this team is contending for a championship in the East. Who do you have as a loser?
I'm going to go with Philadelphia, and certainly when you have the number 3 pick and you get Jahlil Okafor, and he was presumably could have been the number 1 pick, that's not a bad consolation prize, but the reality is that they already have size on the front line. They've already invested in it. It's already young, and they thought they were going to have D'Angelo Russell sitting there, and the 2 bigs were going to go first. And that, as far as fit is concerned, would have been much better. Now, instead of having an answer for your point guard situation, you have questions in terms of Joel Embiid and Nerlens Noel and Okafor, and how are these guys going to play together, or are you going to have to make another move?
There you got.
Well, aside from Ty Lawson,
yes,
it's the Brooklyn Nets. Now, they ended up at the end of the night with Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, who they acquired in a trade from the Portland Trail Blazers while giving up Mason Plumlee. And Rondae Hollis-Jefferson might turn out to be a great pickup, a defensive forward who I think could be very critical for them. However, they could have drafted Rondae Hollis-Jefferson without ever giving up Mason Plumlee in that deal. How? Well, they should have had the 15th pick in this draft, but they didn't because of a pick swap that they made with the Atlanta Hawks from that Joe Johnson trade, ill-fated Joe Johnson trade from a few years ago. So the Hawks end up with the Nets pick. The Nets could have been there at 15th, grabbing Kelly Oubre or Jerian Grant or Rondae Hollis-Jefferson instead of having to give up Mason Plumlee, a valuable piece, to get a guy that they could have drafted.
If you weren't able to follow all that, I have it all down right here.
I'll send you his mailing address.
There you go.
That's fantastic. I'll tell you the other loser, Larry Nance Jr. in your Twitter account, man. Good luck walking into the Lakers locker room. Black Mamba's waiting for you. He might have something to say. Winners and losers. NBA draft in the books. These guys are winners. Myself, loser train. Have a good night.